where we left off last episode. Before we begin, I'm going to have my players introduce themselves, tell us who they're playing. If they have anything they have coming up they want to announce, they can go ahead and talk about that. And we will start going in clockwise order, starting with Ellie.
Hello, I'm Ellie, and I'm playing Captain Jackie Bellamy. And I don't exist on the internet. So if you find me on the internet, no, you didn't.
She is a Fig Newton of our imagination.
It's true. I'm a snack.
That would be Crash next.
Crash. I didn't screw it up this time.
I'm making it easier for everyone else is what I'm doing. I'm Crash. I have a bunch of podcasts and stuff that you can find at my web address, which is down here, AaronBSmith.com. And today I am playing Ensign Rhetoric Red Sark, the perpetual red shirt who is very happy to do his duty and is still surprised that he does not die in the first 15 minutes of an episode. We keep having these. It's bound to happen sooner or later.
I'm just going to keep running games till we kill him.
Till we kill him, yeah.
I'm here for this. Red is not, but I am.
Awesome. All right, I'm Q. You can find me at... That's in my link tree. It's got everything you need. Will be playing Lieutenant Commander Varen, the security chief on the ship. Retired Starfleet. That's where we're in. Retired Starfleet intelligence now. With a cushy security post on a new ship.
And hi, I'm Steve. Tall halfling on the socials. And tonight I'm our Andorian science officer, Lieutenant Commander Tell.
Well, thank you. All right.
Every time you turn that on, that is so cool.
I look forward to it. All right. I believe we have a Sark date that we might want to start the issue with, episode with. So, Red?
Some people start with a captain's log.
Well, we're technically in the middle of an episode, so there's no captain's log tonight.
Oh, this is true.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going to begin the second parts of episodes with Sark date.
What have I gotten myself into? Nothing. This is Red's problem.
Exactly.
Just my bifocals here. Sark date. This is my personal log, so I guess I could just. I'll put a 2. I'll pencil in a 2. Okay. I've been added to the security detail at the last minute for a diplomatic mission. It's a lot less exciting than I was told it would be. I'm very happy about this, and I hope that nothing about a missing phaser that suddenly turned up somewhere else comes up to ruin my relaxation as I stare into the middle distance, and other people do way more interesting things.
All right. We come back to the planet of Delta 4, where the negotiations with the Kamakchi are underway. We're at yet another break. The negotiations have kind of gone later into the day, and Varen is stepped away from the duties of he was kind of on security duty along with Sark, and is touching base again with Attel regarding the recent transfers that had come over from Starbase 2. There are 5 transfers, one of which is actually on the planet with them right now, Angela Buccio, who Varen has gotten a chance to kind of observe, has noticed she's very inquisitive about some things that aren't really her role, this is something he's noticed. But he wanted to touch base again with Attell because there are 4 other people on the list of transfers. Attell did get a chance to check with Starbase 2 about if they had any phasers that perhaps were missing from there. And they were not able to locate any missing phasers. I mean, everything was accounted for. The shuttle that had arrived at Starbase 2 had come from the Jemison, so they were not able to track anything down about any missing phasers. And this is kind of the information that Attell has at the moment. While the negotiations are going on right now, Jackie is unaware of any of this talk about another phaser, any kind of questions about any of the transfers, because frankly, she has been busy with the negotiations. The Grand Viewer has started to begin speaking more to Jackie than to the ambassador. Jackie's really there in a support role for the ambassador. But it seems that the Kamakchi, given their previous experience with Jackie, seem to trust her more and seem to address all questions to her. Ambassador Thala, in a side note,
about this
is absolutely thrilled about this. Yes, and on their latest break, has kind of stomped off with diplomat Buccio trailing behind him. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up with Varen and Sark. They are on a call with Attell, who is back on the Jemison. So I'm going to shut up and let my players continue the story.
Okay. Commander Attell, have you found out any more information about the other 4 members? So far, Buccio is continuing status quo. Nothing appears too out of sorts, though, she is very inquisitive about things. Could be nothing, could just be an inept spy.
I believe we were meaning to get back to doing background checks on the others and have not gotten there yet. Working on the others. I've also taken a good look at the that phaser, which doesn't seem to have anything strange one way or another, aside from appearing and disappearing.
Good.
Apparently at random.
It was just misplaced. Although the timing is suspicious. But thank you for dismantling it and checking for any explosives, spy devices. Yeah. Anything
you've been picking up down there that we can look into for you?
No, everything down here seems to be running fairly smoothly. The negotiations, as much as I'm paying attention, seem to be going apace. So far, I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary. Ensign Sark, have you noticed anything odd that you wanted to bring to our attention?
Well, I've noticed that the ambassador is a really important person who probably shouldn't need to worry about, the social pleasantries part before any negotiations, and probably shouldn't be, too upset by the captain doing really, really good work with, easing tensions and making friends and things like that. However, I have a feeling that maybe I don't want to be in the same room when things come to a head.
That's probably
Red
a good
River
instinct.
holding up the data pad as a shield after earning ire in the previous episode.
Mhm.
Well, I'm sure an ambassador would know how to keep calm and not get all riled up. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Indeed. If you feel like you need to walk the perimeter, get a little space between you and the members here, use your own initiative. Just let me know where you're going to be.
I think I might actually walk the perimeter and see what's going on. Maybe there's other phasers that have been misplaced or something. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go look. I'll let you know. I'll be back.
Well, thank you, Commander Attell. I'll let you get back to whatever it was that you were doing before I disturbed you.
Well, getting started on those other background checks.
Good luck with that.
I have a new appreciation of the work that you and your team do in this area. It is not my specialty.
Background checks can be frustratingly complicated for what should just be simply looking up someone's data.
Particularly since anything you might be looking for is not going to be front and center, or it would have been caught.
That's true. People don't tend to walk around with flags saying, "I am a spy."
Although that is an idea.
It would be a good distraction.
I am spy flags.
All right. So
Get back to paying attention to security.
best of luck keeping peace with the peacekeepers.
So far, they're very peaceful. And close communicator and put it away. Uh-oh, we froze Tom.
Tom, not only are you
Tom, you're
is your
muted.
video cutting out of it, but you're muted.
No. There you go.
I
Now
should
you're
not
good.
be muted any longer.
There we go.
Hooray!
You're back.
There was great rejoicing.
Yay.
I don't recall if Attell had told Commander Kovac what he was working on. He didn't necessarily have to, because it was in communication with Security Chief Varen. Is this something that he would report to Commander Kovac?
I don't think he's keeping secrets or anything, but I have a feeling his approach is, when I find something that's actually worth bothering, the XO about.
Understood. Okay, that's what I figured, but I just wanted to make sure I covered that base. I figured that was their style. So, okay. We're gonna go. We're gonna kind of move to another scene here on the planet, where Sark is beginning their rounds. Guard, walking around, and runs into Angela Buccio. She is kind of returning towards the conference room, and she just kind of smiles at Sark. Ensign, I don't believe I had a chance to talk to you very much since we came down to the planet. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Just keeping an eye out for anything. We're not thinking anything is going to go bad, but if it does, well, better to see it in advance, I guess. I'm not always words good with people. Hi.
She just kind of puts a hand on his shoulders, like, relax, you're doing fine. And I don't think anything could go wrong here. I mean, I think this is a fairly secure location, isn't it? From what you've seen, of course.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm just, usually I'm told, stand here, watch this, stare into the middle distance. Maybe don't violate the Prime Directive when you are on another planet and another ensign sent the I'm forgetting the name for the lander craft. That's a player problem, not a character problem.
Oh, the runabout?
Runabout.
Yeah. I don't think we ever named it. I think it was just the runabout. So.
Okay. Maybe, don't violate the Prime Directive when another ensign automates the runabout and sends that back to the ship without you. So you're stranded there for 3 weeks. Nothing that causes any long-term trauma or anything like that. So, just, I forgot what I was talking about.
And she just kind of chuckles and says, "It's all right. Where are you? You from Earth?"
No, one of the colony worlds. Bigger one, but yeah.
She says, I grew up in Dallas, Texas.
Oh.
Texas doesn't seem quite as big once you get out into the galaxy, though.
I imagine so.
And she seems like she understands she's sort of stressing him out. So she kind of pats him on the shoulder again and says, "You keep an eye out for things. We wouldn't want something bad to happen now."
That's the current plan. The keeping an eye out thing, not the something bad happening. I think you know what I meant, but I'm gonna get going now. I walk off
back onto your
with the
patrol.
same level of skill and suaveness that I ended the previous conversation. Which is to say, 0 if not lower.
Meanwhile, Jackie has been cornered by Ambassador Thala. A word, if you would mind, Captain.
Of course. What can I do for you?
The Grand Viewer was not an entity I was preparing to negotiate with. But, be it as it may, I will continue to do my best. What I cannot abide, however, is they will not stay with concrete facts, concepts. They seem to be just talking about whatever seems to be on their minds. We need to get down to brass tacks, as you say on your Earth. And we need to start talking about specific dates, times, and amounts for trade negotiations to begin. Is this something you can help me you can assist me with getting them on track?
I'm sure we can work something out.
Very well. I will attempt to steer them back towards quantifiable items that we can speak of. You can see his face, even though he's like a Tellarite, he's getting red in the face. He's getting really frustrated. Very well. And he just kind of brushes past you to head back to the conference room.
Jackie will stand there for a minute, say, "All right," and turn around and walk the same way.
All right. we're gonna jump back up to the ship, and let's see. Attell, you get a notification from engineering. All right, call comes in from, and a character we did not name. Okay, the chief of engineering. This is going to be Ed's supporting character. So, the chief of engineering blah, 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 calls and says, "Lieutenant Commander Attell, we have a slight issue."
Go ahead.
Although we are over the planet, we are noticing for some reason, and it's just baffling me. I can't make no hide no hair of it. We're getting a dangerous fluctuation in the ship's warp core. Have you noticed anything?
I'm assuming you would have told me if I had already noticed anything, but I am turning to my instruments and
well,
see if I had noticed anything now.
I didn't want to assume you hadn't noticed it. They seem very hesitant, like they've probably stepped on your foot. If you could please make me let's get your sheet up here. Probably reason and science, please. Let's go just difficulty 2. And yes, we should eject the warp core. It's the only way. So.
Okay. I would assume that I would be assisted by the ship's either computers or sensors, depending on whether I'm doing internal diagnostics or checking the area for anything that might be causing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm rolling 2d20 and the ship is rolling 1.
Yeah.
And
roll for the ship.
Sorry, of those two, which one am I using? Am I using computers or am I using sensors?
Let's do computers.
Okay.
What you doing, buddy?
Okay, well, so that is one, I believe. Yeah, one success over here. How did the ship do?
Ship got 0 successes.
Okay, but when I'm assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, either I can re-roll or it can re-roll. In this case, it doesn't really matter, so I'll go ahead and...
Yeah, I think I'm going to have you check again because you're like, shouldn't the computer be able to detect this?
Okay, well, so that was a... yeah, I still have 1 success, it looks like.
Okay.
My 19 turned into an 18, but...
Okay. All right. It's puzzling you because you're like, well, I should have gotten some kind of notification that there was something going on, but I didn't. And the ship didn't seem to assist me as well. So, but obviously the engineer who's down there, their equipment has shown something is going on. So, what do you see, Commander?
Sorry if that was to me.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Briefly, hang on a second.
No problem.
You're a beautiful kitty, but you cannot be right in the middle of everything.
But cats are viewers, so basically
we're just being visited by Gary 7.
Yeah, the chief in engineering is saying, well, you're not seeing some kind of fluctuation on your equipment there?
So having failed that roll, does that mean I don't have anything, or I don't know why?
You don't know why. Yeah.
Okay. So I can confirm that there's weird readings.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'd like you to come down here and perhaps take a look.
On my way.
Okay. Kovac, Commander Kovac, Quick Service. Anything wrong, Lieutenant Commander?
There's apparently there are some fluctuations in engineering that they're at a loss to explain. I'm gonna go take a look, see if we can get to the bottom of it.
Okay. And she looks kind of puzzled, and she's all right. Just keep me posted. Okay. We are going to bounce back to the planet. We're back at the table, and the ambassador kind of just charged ahead with asking the Grand Viewer and the other assembled Kamakchi. We would like to know approximately when can we send a surveyor to Kamak to begin examining the planet in a more, shall we say, deeper dive to get an idea more of what your planet has to kind of snaps his fingers offer. And the Kamakchi again look at each other with their tentacles start going a little faster, and they kind of mumble to each other. And Thala sits back and he's like, I mean, is there a particular date that we could perhaps agree on, that we could establish here at the table? And they just continue to just look at each other. The Grand Viewer, though, looks at Jackie for a moment. Captain, is it true that the inhabitants of your world polluted it nearly to the point of extinction? It seems a lack of judgment to not protect your environment.
Personally, I agree. And I like to think we've left that behind us. But as you well know, what's in the water stays in the water.
We are a water creature. Excuse me. We are a water species ourselves. It is the life.
No.
This is the player trying to invent Kamakchi.
Please go ahead.
In this age, we're aware of our tendency toward, what's the word I'm looking for? There are some of us who would foul the water for personal benefit, and we guard against it.
That is quite wise. And I appreciate your candor. Thala seems a little frustrated. He's like, yes. The Earthlings nearly destroyed their planet before they had some kind of wisdom, something came to them to stop destroying their world, and yes, they evolved, and yes, we all know the story of Earth. What I would like to know is, could we establish a date? And the Kamakchi just go back and they'll just kind of, and the tentacles are going. And this carries on for about a minute or so. And we this carries on for a minute or so. We are going to shift back to on the ship where Attel has made their way down to engineering, and has met with the chief of engineering, and they want to take.
I was just going back to my notes. Is this Bradlin, who we've met before, the Tellarite, or is this a different engineer?
Probably the same one, because they're a Tellarite, so I think they're probably okay. So maybe we did have a name for them and I didn't write it down. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Just wanted to make sure I'm keeping things straight.
We'll do the first season Next Generation thing of having a new chief engineer every episode.
I am all about keeping it simple, so we will go with that. So, and it's the damnedest thing. It's showing this fluctuation, but the rest of the ship's sensors don't seem to be detecting it. I don't know why they wouldn't be connecting, why they're not agreeing on the same thing. In all my years, I just can't seem to. And he stops and he goes. And he looks over at his crew and says, "Has there been anybody else down here tinkering with anything that anyone you don't notice, or excuse me, you don't know?" And one of them goes, "Well, there's that new guy, that Dia. Yeah, the one of the ones who was on the just came in from Starbase. Yeah. What was his first name?" And one of the others goes up, "Cedric."
Sorry, my webcam is having a meltdown. I'm still here.
No
so sorry, Cedric was wandering around, messing around where he's not supposed to be.
Well, he is one of the 5 transfers, and they are an engineering officer, which gave them clearance to be on the ship, but no one can remember if they saw anything specific that maybe was done, but.
Okay. So if we're dealing with fluctuations in the warp core and we are safely in orbit, I realize this is not music to any engineer's ears, but could we perhaps shut down the warp core until we figure out what the problem is? Having it running and fluctuating seems worse than having it.
Chief says, "Yeah, I mean, we don't seem to be going anywhere. We don't need to be going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, he says, tells his crew, "All right, let's reboot it, and let's take a look, see what's going on." They're like, "Aye." Take off to begin doing that. And it probably takes, I don't recall in the show, everything seems to take about 5 to 8 minutes or something. So they will begin.
They're predicting 6 hours, but they'll get it done in 1.
Even better. Yeah. Well, with you right in his face, he's not going to go, "Oh, I need 8 hours." He's not safely behind the comm. So he's all right. Yeah, we can get it done in an hour if we really push it.
All right. Let me know if you notice anything else, or if you'd like, like an extra hand.
Could you?
Attell and the chief engineer have butted heads a couple times, so he's not going to place himself in the middle of the situation, but he does have some engineering chops behind him.
He doesn't seem opposed to you looking. He actually called and asked you to come down. So the ego seems to have been set aside for the moment, because this genuinely was something that was puzzling. If you'd like, you could play a reason and engineering role to kind of check the diagnostics while this is rebooting.
Okay.
And difficulty, I'm going to say difficulty 2.
Okay. That always seems to involve computers and pushing buttons and things, so I'm assuming that's...
Mm-hmm. And remember, you guys do have 3 momentum so far, that if you want to use any momentum, you can.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 momentum for an extra die. So I'm rolling 3. The ship is rolling 1.
Yep.
We see how things go. Okay. I am curious how the ship does.
Let's take a look here. That was computers and engineering. And 2. Ship's been useless. 0 successes.
That's okay. I've got 6.
Okay. All right.
Nope.
So we're gonna bank those 4 momentum.
It tells professional ego at stake, having messed up before, and pulling out the stops.
You when you're doing your review of the diagnostics, you do detect something. There was something, maybe some kind of subroutine was run during a latest review, and it doesn't identify the user. Somehow that information seems to be missing from the log, but something was run.
Okay. All right. Do I remember correctly that Star Trek Adventures has a spend momentum to create a trait, an advantage of something?
Yeah. I don't remember the details, though. But I remember us doing something like that when we were on the planet with the cat monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's two momentum to basically buy a appropriate plot device, which I think I'm happy to spend to say, even though we don't know who, we can at least track back to like what terminal were they using.
Mm-hmm.
So we at least have a trail to follow.
Yeah. That sounds absolutely great. Yeah, you can detect that it was a terminal that was outside of engineering, that was really towards security, and really just kind of a general terminal that's used by a lot of personnel in the security department. Now, how they got into engineering, you don't know, but you've tracked down to where it was done from.
All right. And I think as we presumably shift back to action on the planet, Etel is sitting down to essentially go through the security cameras, figure out who passed by that way. Are there any familiar faces at about the right time?
Okay. Okay, yeah, we're gonna switch back down to the planet, back to the negotiation table, and back to the Grand Viewer. The Alpha Quadrant has become quite volatile in recent years. Some would say the Federation brought aggression with them, perhaps stirring up elements better left alone. And the ambassador kind of, I wouldn't say we've stirred anything up. In fact, if anything, we have brought a calming presence to the Alpha Quadrant. Wouldn't you agree, Captain? And now he's reaching.
Jackie is letting him respond first. She wants to make sure that he is aware that she is aware that he's the ambassador here.
I want you to do your job as well. The ambassador can respond while Jackie is thinking over perhaps what they might want to say. I think, if anything, we have brought a stabilizing presence to the Alpha Quadrant, and we are here to offer our assistance and support to the people of your planet. Your intentions seem peaceful, but we are not naive. We are aware that you seek our dilithium, and you are not the only faction who has been interested in the dilithium. And the ambassador has this look on his face like, okay, I got my hand caught in the cookie jar. Well, while that is important to the entire Alpha Quadrant, I would not say that is the Federation's primary motivation in establishing talks with you. And I need a drink because that really starts to dry out my throat. So.
Ironic that talking like a water species dries out your throat, but yes.
Right.
You have me thinking of the old science films on the reel-to-reel video projectors of the wonderful world of aluminum.
Exactly.
Aluminum has many uses.
I considered gargling, but I thought that might be too disruptive on the stream.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So.
Tom, why are we starting with plastic tarps everywhere? Gargling goes everywhere.
Exactly. That's what I was more afraid of. Is everything going everywhere. So, okay.
Of course, I can't speak for everyone in the Federation, but personally, and I think I speak for Ambassador Thala as well, I would be honored to be a friend of the Kamakshi, even if the dilithium were off the table.
And Thala kind of gives you a side look, like, I would like to see if Jackie can absolutely sell it. Let's take a look. I think last time she used presence and command.
Yeah,
But I would-
presence command.
and then with a focus of, well, you've got persuasion, cultural expert,
Yeah.
persuasion. This is probably going to be at least a difficulty 3,
Okay.
but I want to see if you can basically get it across the goal line, as it were.
Well, I got 8 successes last time. Let's see how many failures I can get. I'm going to use momentum to buy a die.
That sounds like a capital idea. Okay.
We've got enough momentum if you want to spin more to get 2 dice. That would be fine too.
Yeah, we had 4. You just spent 1, so I mean,
2 more, you can get another die.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the card punch each time you get a die.
exactly. You get a free failure next time.
Oh, look at those low numbers.
All right. 6 successes. With your famous Bellamy suave, you have calmed them down yet again. And they, let's see, so you got, says 3, so you should be back up to 5. Yeah, should be back to 5 momentum, I think. You seem to have calmed them down a bit again. They kind of mutter to themselves, and the Grand Viewer leans forward and says, "Captain Middleman, I would be honored to have you visit Kalmok once more, perhaps as the surveyor, as Ambassador Thalda has suggested."
It would be the greatest pleasure of my life.
I want you to roll on that again. No, I was kidding.
You oversold it.
Yeah, you oversold it. They sense bullshit.
Jackie's sincere.
I know.
especially having just spent 10 years on the Romulan frontier. She is happy to be anywhere but Starbase 6 or Outpost 6.
The ambassador kind of bristles a little bit at this, but you do notice Angela over on the other side kind of smiles at Jackie, kind of like a well played kind of smile she gives you.
I'll give her the slightest of nods.
Okay. We are going to go back up to the ship. So, back to Attel. Oh, we lost him. Okay. Well, we will go elsewhere then. Let me see. Okay. Let's go back down to the planet where Varen gets a message coming in from looks like from Commander Kovac.
Okay.
How's it going down there, Chief?
Hello, Commander. Everything seems to be going well. From a security standpoint, everything is quiet. I really haven't been paying that much attention to the proceedings. But no one is trying to kill anyone, so I take that as a good thing.
We have noticed some odd goings on the ship. It's strange. We have had someone tamper with the warp core, to put it bluntly. and that information was tracked back to a terminal in security.
How recently?
It's probably 90 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I think we can rule out Ensign Red. I'm torn. I would like to return to the ship to investigate, but on the other hand, I'm not sure if I should leave Ensign Sark here on his own.
Ensign Sark
Well,
wouldn't be on
this-
his own. There'd be that other crew member whose name begins with an A, who is not acting suspicious at all,
Right.
and has not been on anyone's radar.
Right. Well, I guess we'll see how he handles himself. It's time. At some point, every ensign has to step up and take on more than anyone should think an ensign should be able to handle.
Yes,
what
that's
Stark
part of the
well
Red's
done.
backstory. He came here to get away from that.
Let me inform the captain, and I will be up as soon as the transporter, can get me here.
Okay.
All right, so I'll sign off with
All
Kovac and go let Sark know he's in charge. Ensign Sark, I need to return to the ship for an indeterminate amount of time. I will leave the security of the proceedings in your capable hands. You know where to reach me if you need me.
Yes, sir. One question. What do I do if someone else wants to have a pleasant social interaction with me?
Simply
I'm-
inform them that you are on duty, and as the only security officer here, you cannot split your attention. And ask them
sir,
to
yes, sir. Thank
leave
you
you
so
be
much.
politely.
You have to.
If
You
you
have
persist, you may
raised
stun them.
manna from heaven with this order.
Unless it's the captain. Don't stun the captain.
Oh. Red is thoroughly confused that that was ever possibly an option. Fairly certain that he would be the one that doesn't survive.
Okay, I need to inform the captain that I'm leaving and let her know that you are taking control of the security situation.
Yes, sir.
You've got
I will
this,
continue to
Vincent.
walk the perimeter.
All right, and then I'll go off and tap the captain on her shoulder gently. I'm sure you're in the middle of talking, or at least listening, so I don't want to just come up and blurt out. Captain,
What can I do for you, Chief?
just inform you, I need to return to the ship to check on something. I'm going to be leaving Ensign Sark in charge of security here.
I'm sure we're in good hands.
I'm sure. All right. You're doing great. I'll see you when I get back.
Okay.
Don't split up into too many atoms.
Don't make jokes about transporters. That's some serious stuff. Have I ever
It's
told
the
you?
only way I can get through the process.
Yeah. Ask me again sometime about the transporter accident I was in. And then I'll turn off.
Over
turn
drinks.
All right.
You're listening with great interest.
Yeah.
Tentacles going on.
I'll step away and, click, click. Transporter room, one to beam up.
Okay. And engage. And you are beamed back up. When you return to the Jemison, the person at the transporter console, you don't recognize them, but they are wearing an engineering uniform.
And you have a dog with an outfit and a little horn.
I don't recognize them. Could they be part of the new influx of people that we recently got?
You could ask them who they are.
Okay. What rank are they displaying?
The GM just wrote engineering officer. So we are gonna say what's above an ensign?
Lieutenant Commander. Lieutenant something junior grade, JG?
Lieutenant junior grade, yeah.
Junior. Yep, that's what they are. And they just nod to the same. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I don't believe we've met.
Oh, my name's Cedric Dia, sir. I just arrived.
Ah, yes, I do remember something about Cedric Diaz in my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, good to see you already integrated into the duty roster. Carry on.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Just and since we had lost Atel for a little bit, Commander Kovac had contacted Varen to let him know that about the issues with the warp core, and that some of the information that you uncovered, to let him know what was going on with that, and that is why Varen is coming back to Jemison. So
yeah, so I will make a beeline for the terminal that was mentioned in security, or well, I don't know exactly which terminal. So I will check in with Kovac, I guess, and find out more information.
Okay. She lets you know which terminal it was in security, and when you get there, Atel is there. So
yeah, I think when you get there, there's a pair of legs sticking out from
under a console.
Under the console, yeah.
Atel, are those your legs?
There is a very distinct bang. Yeah, yes, sir.
Excellent. I'm still working on recognizing people from their appendages.
Well, aren't that many of us that are blue, so narrows things down for you.
True, but the pants tend to put a damper on that. There's a bit of ankle showing, though. Nicely turned.
He grumbles and gets back to working on the guts of the machine.
Got you. So I've been told that this security station has been used to tamper with the workings of the warp core.
Certainly looks that way.
Have you been able to trace the who was doing the tampering, or exactly when? I believe I got a window of something around 90 minutes ago, probably 2 hours now.
That sounds about right to me. We know that somebody ran a subroutine from here. Engineering couldn't tell me the user, so I'm trying to do this the old-fashioned way.
Okay, well, I will see if I can run down who that might have been from other means. Who was the last person that we can confirm was in this room?
You could probably check the cameras, or the
That was my next step, yeah.
or the door.
Right, and if there weren't cameras, I was going to invent some that I secreted around myself.
I considered that was he's a sneaky fucker, that he probably would probably put that in himself.
If there are no official cameras, there are cameras.
Well, then that brings up another question. Then, is that something he wants to reveal?
No,
because I'm going to say there are no cameras. So.
Okay, then he will. So I will then, step away to my own station. I don't think we have fancy little pads we can use in this. Right. Yeah. So I'll have to retire to my security station and get into my back doors and look for my secret cameras. If something shows up, I'll deal with it then.
Okay.
Before you go, can you hand me that? He's pointing to one of the tools.
This, and he, of course, hands you like the one next to the one you wanted.
Sure. That'll help. We picked up a new engineer at the starbase. I don't know if anybody else had the knowledge to be able to do this and hide their tracks, but
yes, I met
an engineer certainly should.
I'm sorry, I met Lieutenant Cedric Diaz in the transporter room. Seems to be new to engineering. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, he seemed to be, as far as we could tell, a last-minute fill-in for somebody who had to cancel. But I don't know. Had not gotten into what the circumstances were about that.
No, I haven't had time to fill myself in on the new members either. It's probably worth looking into. At least see if he has been here. He's in transporter room now, so I can check and see the duty roster when he actually arrived, if that would rule him out.
When you have a chance, can you check on whoever it was that who canceled, who he was filling in for? Make sure they're okay. Because if he's messing with the warp engine, I don't want to assume that last minute cancellation.
I believe I misunderstood. So, someone on the ship who was scheduled to be in engineering had to step out for a moment, and Cedric was his replacement. I thought you were saying.
Sorry, he's going to pull out from underneath.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I was.
When we got our new batch of crew transfers.
I thought that maybe you were saying
you were expecting
replacing someone we lost from the ship, not someone who's still on the ship but didn't show up to work.
We were expecting to get somebody else. They canceled at the last minute. He filled in. I just want to make sure that they canceled of their own volition.
Got you. So more of a background thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will check into that.
All right. So, let's do this. Varen, what do you want to tackle first? Basically the crew transfers, or your cameras?
First, I want to check in on Cedric.
Okay.
I want to ask him when he started his what do you call it, shift in the transporter room, and then I want to double check with whoever is in charge of creating the shift, the duty roster. I don't know who that would fall to. Would that fall to Kovac? She'd probably delegate that.
Yeah, she'd delegate that.
I'm sure we know because we, being on the ship, and check with them to see when he was scheduled to be there and make sure that he's telling the truth. That should be pretty quick.
Atel and Varen, at that same moment, you get a message coming through. It says, "We have an unauthorized transport to Delta 4. Unauthorized transport to Delta 4."
Message came in from whom?
It's kind of like a general alert, kind of, that if a transport was used that wasn't authorized.
Got you. Okay, I will hasten my steps toward the transporter room to see what's going on with Cedric and whoever's going down.
Okay. Atel?
I think I'm going to take the liberty. Brent can yell at me about it later. To call Red down on the planet and let him know somebody is beaming down without authorization. Keep your eyes open.
Okay.
Good
Let's,
man. I tell you, I'm gonna suck you into security before you know it.
Let's do that first.
You're talking to somebody who has the ability to change his shirt color.
Well,
It just shifts to red instantly. No.
Ringy dingy.
Assuming red comm unit does the little chime thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He jumps 1.5 feet.
But doesn't answer it.
And then a step to the right.
It may or may not have almost been hit by a phaser blast, but that's besides the point. He does answer the comm unit. Yes, Ensign Red here. Hello.
this is Lieutenant Commander Tell up on the Jamison. We have an unauthorized transport down to the planet. Might be, and he gives a description of Cedric. I'm sure he's at least seen a picture by now.
Yeah.
Do we have the exact coordinates for where the transport went to?
Not yet.
I'll have that for you in a minute, but wanted to give you a heads up before I get started.
Will do. Thank you. Has the captain been notified?
Captain has do not disturb up. So.
Yeah.
Nobody tells me nothing.
I like that way.
I also kind of figure, alerting the security officer is one thing. Making an end run around Varan to report to our mutual boss might be a little bit more rude, but
Okay.
and I
Red
think I do make a point of mentioning to Red that this might or might not be involved with some tampering with the engines, so might be bad news. But don't jump to conclusions.
Red is going to leave that in the skilled hands of not him.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing is, as soon as he's told unauthorized transport, he stops walking the perimeter. He starts walking towards whatever room the captain is in. Not intending to disturb, but if someone's beaming down, chances are they're beaming down to mess with this, so might as well head towards their assumed target until more information is gathered.
Indeed. All right. Well,
Okay.
what does Varen see in the transporter room?
When Varen comes into the transport room, and this is when the ton 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 music comes on, he sees Cedric Dia is laying kind of behind the transport console. Looks like they're unconscious.
Check for vital signs.
Go over and check. They appear they've taken a large blow to the head, but they're not. But they're just unconscious.
Okay. I'll put in a call to. What's the doctor's name?
Well, you would probably call Nurse Castillo.
Sure. Yeah, we'll call Nurse Castillo. Yeah. I'll put in a
Okay.
call to Nurse Castillo.
Okay.
Real quick. I'm not even going to wait for pleasantries. Just say, we have a man down in the transport room. Please send a medical team. Click off, and then I will examine the transporter console, see if I
Okay.
can determine
Yeah.
roughly the mass of what was sent down. Was it a person, and where to?
Okay. Give me a reason, and I don't know if that would be engineering or science. I'm trying to check basically the records of the transport.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards engineering. What do you guys think?
That probably makes more sense because it's using the
Yeah.
the components of the ship rather than understanding what makes them work.
Okay. That works.
I'm
Yeah,
going to spend momentum on that.
Okay, just difficulty 2.
Okay. Perform task. 3 dice. Is that a focus? I don't think so.
Yeah, none of them really.
Let's see. Mental focus, interrogation, security systems, sociology, composure, survival. Nope. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's okay. We got a 1-4 in there.
Okay. So yes, you got 1 success. You can access it, and you are able to tell that the person who was transported down, they normally the report will tell you who basically who ran it and who was transported down. You get it, it's the same person, Stilvik, the new Vulcan security officer.
Okay. How do you transport yourself down? That's a question for a tell later. But for now, we're going to contact Ensign Sark.
Console that keeps-
So, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I recall seeing it on the show, somebody doing the thing and then running over to
You're running over. Yeah, it's
the
like
thing, and so yeah.
But
So
for Baron, with 1 in engineering, he's like,
we're
how do
going
you do
we're,
that?
we're going with, this is original series, so we're gonna say somebody was able to do it
and then run
go
over.
over.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you could set some sort of timer.
Exactly.
Just like we've had timers on cameras since the 20th century, so I'm sure
Exactly.
they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just sort of running in the back of his head. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. And then he calls in Baron to Sark. Come in, Sark.
Sark will only jump 6 inches this time. I gotta stop doing that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ensign, someone, so I don't know his, what his rank is, but still Vec has transported down to the surface. Oh, did I get the location of where he transferred?
You did. It was to the same location that the team had come down to before, so kind of
designated
outside.
location.
Yeah, the designated location. So
Stilvik is transferred down to the designated location on the planet without authorization. If he appears anywhere near the proceedings, stun him.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
I'll be down shortly.
Interaction, sir.
Okay. I would like to wait to see till the nurse gets here for Cedric before I head down.
Yeah.
Also, while I'm waiting, I'll try to figure out how to do a delayed transport since there's no one here to send me down.
Oh, there are other people. Attell could do it.
That's true.
And,
I should let Attell know.
Probably some of the officers. Yeah, you might want to let Attell know what happened.
Right.
I think I was just like a minute or two behind. I just stopped to talk to Red first.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, well, as soon as you pop in, I will fill you in on what I've discovered and ask you to please send me down to the planet.
Aye, sir. He walks over to the console. Oh. Never, ever, ever said it like that. Rejigger some settings.
Who turned the brightness up on this damn thing?
You'll come out all pasty looking.
Well, that's the setting you use if you want to get stuck in a time loop. So yeah, and he pushes up the sliders and energize.
Yep. And
right.
Real quick,
goes
did you set transporter clone to false?
I knew I forgot something.
Oh. I feel like I should make you roll on that.
Damn, second transporter malfunction.
People these days.
So
I
now we
wonder.
have Varan and we have Narev, who has a beard.
Yeah.
I think
They're
you know what
Romulan.
I think I would like to have a tell roll for the transport because notice something kind of funny and let's go ahead and I think we were going with reason and engineering.
Yeah, that's what I had to do to figure
Yeah,
out what's happening.
and I'm going to add a threat
My joke kills
to
Haran.
that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that makes. Because I mean, still, that could totally have set something up so the next person to transport down got sent off to who knows where. Had his atoms scattered across the multiverse.
Yeah, let's.
I mean, for what it's worth, I was
Much muscle mass.
riffing on the. I think I know how to set a time delay on this.
Exactly.
But sure.
I think you're right
So
click, right?
what's the
Isn't it?
difficulty, and what does the threat do?
The threat I'm gonna say is if you probably still two I'm gonna say 2 successes, but the threat is you're not sure if everything's configured right. Like maybe somebody needs to come back and run a diagnostic on this just to be sure that everything's right.
Okay. All right.
Baron stands there and looks at you like, are you ready?
So does transporter use the ship's computers and or sensors? Seems like it would, but
Yeah. I would say it would use the ship. Ship's been almost kind of useless though lately, but
Hey,
Well,
don't
okay.
spend
Is
my
it using
shit.
computers or is it using sensors? Because
it's going to use computers.
okay. All right. In which case, I will go ahead and spend a momentum for a third
Okay.
die, and I make my rolls.
Oop, only 2 dice went. You forgot to click the extra dice. Roll.
I am having enough technical problems. I'm not trying to use Foundry at the moment, so I think that was
Yeah,
the ship
that was
rolling twice
that
instead of
was the
once.
ship rolling. Gotcha.
Yeah. That was the ship. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot you were rolling it for real. And the ship wasn't useless this time.
I got
So
1 success.
4 successes over here.
Okay. And you watch him disappear, and he lands on the planet successfully, and you get a transport successful message. We'll say
Right.
enough that you do feel a little tiny bead of sweat go down your face.
I try to scratch my nose with my left hand and poke myself in the eye with my right.
Okay. Let's go back to Jackie at the table. So you've gotten some of this information, but nobody's quite told you everything that's going on yet.
Yeah, all you know is that I had to go back to the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you left Red in charge.
For all you know, I just had to go to the
With the
bathroom.
horrible news, there were no more updates.
Secretly, Jackie has an earpiece and hears every communication.
She has her own cameras that she hasn't.
Right?
Oh no, you were my fanfic reading club.
You just think she spent the last 10 years on the Romulan frontier. It's the same 10 years that every intelligence officer spends.
Right?
Okay, well, like I said last time, these people wouldn't be in their jobs if we didn't trust them. So I'm gonna, unless they come to me and say this is something you need to deal with, I'm gonna let them be dealing with it.
Okay. All right. So Varen, you arrive. You've arrived. Same place. Red, did you leave or did you stay where you were?
I stayed where I was. I interpreted the orders as, okay, well, the important thing is right behind me. If I see this person arriving, I am going to shoot to stun. and I've got the constantly watching talent.
Ah, that's right.
So,
Mhm. I took that
it
one
will
too.
take additional 2 threat to have them make the first move.
Okay. Alrighty. Shit, I only have 1 threat. Darn. Although I could purchase some.
They're just gonna have to show up, announce themselves, and we're all gonna have like speed lines appearing behind us as we narrow our eyes.
Hmm.
Okay. Varen, when you arrive and you begin, you're making your way towards the the hall where the conference room is. You see the Delton administrator, Tigid 2. He's like, ah, Security Chief Varen. So good to see you again. I thought you had been here in the conference room.
I was in the conference room. I left. Now I'm back.
How efficient. I'm glad you've come back. Is there anything I can offer you? We have some excellent teas here on the planet.
You can
And we
offer me
also-
information.
Why, of course. Yes.
Did you see another Vulcan run past here? Within the last 20 minutes.
Ah, another Vulcan. I can't say I did. What?
Interesting.
No.
Okay. Well, I must head back to the proceedings.
Okay. All right. All right. So we are gonna say, let me see if Patel wants to do anything first, kind of before I go back to the planet, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember, and I don't. So, is there enough of a difference between humans and Vulcans that if I did a sensor scan, I might be able to locate the other Vulcan on the planet?
I think you can. From what I remember them doing things like that to be able to do a scan on the planet. That would probably be, and you could have the ship assist you. Let's take a look here. I hate to always keep using reason, but if it's scans and things like that, that seems
That's
Yeah.
kind of a Tell's wheelhouse. So
Yeah, but I mean, to me, that seems like it's, because he's not really, he's dealing with machines. He's not really, trying to get insight from a person or, so I kind of think reason and, would that be security or would that be?
kind of guessing as a science officer, he probably approaches the sensors as part of, as a scientific thing, I would think. But
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's go with reason and science. It's gonna be difficulty 3 though, because you were trying to pinpoint on this planet, in this general region, looking for a Vulcan. So,
okay.
and the ship will assist.
I will go ahead and buy a die.
I'm gonna say that's sensors and science. Cast detect Vulcan. Yeah. The ship got 2 successes. All right. So.
Okay. So I've got 3 successes, but I'm going to be greedy. Since I'm using ship sensors, I can re-roll something. So that did not make any difference. So still 3 from this side.
Okay, so we needed 3, we got 5, so momentum is going to go up to 6. Does that sound correct, guys? Because I might have missed a roll where I might have updated the momentum.
Well, I think 6 is the cap, so we'll just seems fine.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying. I just want to make sure I
Yeah, I,
got it.
I don't know. I forgot to pay attention.
We'll be okay with that, right, guys?
You run the scan, and it comes back. It cannot find any Vulcans.
Any at all? Because I just beamed one down.
Pretty sure there's
It
one.
is being very specific.
Oh,
and
I'm
saying,
here. Yeah.
and then comes back and goes, and then you check it again, and you're like, okay, well, I've got one. But what you were intending to look for was two.
Yeah.
So you you got at least one, and you got Varen.
Okay. All right.
Wait, how do you know it's me?
Given that we seem to have somebody tampering with equipment, I didn't want to assume that that not picking up anybody
Right.
was a perfectly normal. Can't find this guy.
At first you got none, and then you got one. So something's still wonky in the system. So
That's an increase of 100%. Planet's gotta be full of Vulcans.
Yeah, I think it's diagnostics time.
brand new ship. I mean, this shit shouldn't happen. It's still be under warranty, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Give it a good kick.
Okay. So yeah, you pinpoint Varen, but it still is only coming back with one Vulcan.
Now, how does he know it's me? Transporter signature.
Probably transporter signature, and also maybe like your comm.
Yeah.
Like he can. With those number of successes, I'm going to say it was definitely down to this is our communicator. Yeah, space science. So. I mean, I can look up in the book where the technobabble is.
Technobabble. Oh, yeah.
I forget which page.
If you had asked me, I think I would have assumed, hey, Varen, are you in such and such a room? Yes, that's you. I don't have to.
It's like, we would verify that. Yeah, yes, I am on the planet.
Was that a scratch, or were you picking your nose? So.
Wow, I think you've overtuned those sensors.
All right. Okay, so Varen.
While I've got him, I make a point of telling Varen that we are not picking up any other Vulcan on the planet, which means either somebody's tampered with the sensors, or conceivably our Vulcan security officer might not be what it says on the tin.
I just spoke to Ticket 2, one of the Deltans here, who would have been near the place where we transported in, and he did not, or claimed to not, have seen Stilvik. So can you determine whether Stilvik may have altered the transporter logs and actually transported somewhere else?
We'll head back to the transporter room and get started on that.
Okay. Good luck, as you humans say.
He's not a human either.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
As
You're not blue right now. You threw me off. Sorry. Good luck as the humans.
Speaking of passing yourself off as a different species.
Yeah. Let me just change this filter. And pick up speed toward the. I will actually run now. At first, I was just walking fast because I didn't want to draw too much attention, but now I'm gonna.
Nothing to worry about here, folks. Nothing to worry about as he jogs with his phaser.
Getting exercise. I'll keep the phaser holstered. I don't want to cause panic.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I would think if you're kind of searching around now, I'm trying to remember if that's daring or if that is insight. I think daring.
Especially since I'm running while doing it.
Yeah, I think it's probably daring and security. I'm gonna go with 2 successes as you're kind of looking around. So.
Okay. don't think any of my focuses help with that. But I'm going to spend a momentum.
Okay.
Okay, not bad.
Okay. You don't find anybody as you're kind of running through. People seem to be kind of getting out of your way because they're sensing something's amiss.
Excuse me, pardon me. Sorry.
But you don't see anything. You get to outside the conference room, and no one seems to have noticed you yet because they're at the table. Thala has almost got them to narrow down to a year that they could potentially come to the planet. But they really haven't made a ton of progress yet.
Okay. I'll slip into the room carefully. Is this the only entrance to the room?
Yeah. There's only one way in.
Okay. I'll head over to Ensign Sark and lean in closely. Have you seen Stilbeck?
Not yet, sir. The GM has not asked me to roll to take a look for Stilbeck, but
he's not in the room.
Yeah. I don't think he's been able to turn invisible, but interestingly, Commander Attell can only sense a single Vulcan on the planet's surface. And Tilwig 2 apparently has not seen Stilbeck. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's possible that he transported somewhere else and just changed the logs, or he's more clever than we can conceive. So stay on your toes. Again, if you see him, stun him on sight. Honestly,
sir.
If anything hinky goes on, stun them. We can sort it out later.
I would rather not cause a diplomatic incident, sir, but I understand how not stunning someone might also cause a diplomatic incident. This is hard.
Best not to think too much about it.
I like this plan, sir. Also, for the briefest of moments, it is painfully obvious that when you said only one Romulan on the planet, Red just sort of looked and like, are those fake ears? Those look like fake ears. No, I think those are real. Did someone shave half of your eyebrow and stick a fake eyebrow above it? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Only I am on the planet. You are all figments. Okay. So, and then let's just be vigilant. Keep an eye on the door. Keep an eye on the windows. And keep a third eye blind.
Jackie, you've noticed that Varen has returned and is having a quiet word with Red.
If I step away from the table, is it going to cause a problem?
Only one way to find out.
The ambassador will have more control of the situation, so maybe.
Yeah.
And actually, Thala notices too, and he kind of looks up. And when he looks away, the Kamakchi go. Now everybody's looking at Red and Varen.
Red is definitely not nervous about this and doesn't have a skin tone for his face that is quickly matching the color of his shirt. According to him, he doesn't have a mirror to prove otherwise.
Won't you excuse me?
Yeah, Thala looked like they wanted to speak, but yeah, I was waiting for Jackie. So okay, all right, and they will kind of go back to talking. So, and Jackie can go over and speak to the other two if she'd like to.
Yes, she would like to.
Alrighty. Huddle.
Is there? So the team that beamed down is me, Thala, Varan, Sark, and Angela Bucchio. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Captain, I'm sorry to report there has been an incident on the ship. Someone has attacked the new engineering ensign, Cedric Diaz. It appears to be Stilvec. Someone transported down to the planet without authorization. The transporter logs indicate that it was Stilvec and that he sent himself down. Timing would indicate that would be shortly after, rendering Diaz unconscious. Unfortunately, Commander Attell cannot locate any other Vulcan besides myself on the planet. So we're not really sure what's going on right now, but we are on high alert. Oh, also someone seems to have been tampering with the warp core. But Attell's on it.
It's a minor detail, almost slipped my mind. Warp core's down. I'm sure it's
That's engineering stuff.
it's firmly in a not our problem situation.
Yeah. We're safe down here on the planet.
I'm sure when it enters the atmosphere, it's not going to crash land right on top of us. It's fine.
Yeah.
The budget
Not
pays
when the
for more
GM
than
has only
this,
one threat left.
right? It doesn't. Help.
Hello.
It's the one thing I didn't write down is the chief engineer's name.
Oh, we still haven't. Steve had it.
Insert name here is their
Hang
name.
on.
And I will add it.
Bradlin.
Bradlin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Tellerite.
Tell her, yeah. I had that part, I just didn't have their name. So, okay. Bradlin. Okay.
Okay.
I'm honestly a little bit worried about him, Tellerite being so nice, but
Right?
not going to ask questions.
His real name's Bradley, but
I was about to say, sounds like he grew up in Beverly Hills. Or
Did Mr. Bradlin give you an estimate on bringing the warp core back up?
No, actually, I did not inquire. I was in the middle of something else when the attack happened and hadn't gotten that far.
Understandable. While it's down, would you please have security run a sweep to see if we can find Mr. Stilvec on the ship?
I will do so.
If someone's been manipulating the computers, they may also have been impersonating another crew member. That might be why we can't find another Vulcan on the surface.
Yes, the thought did occur to us that perhaps he faked the transporter log. So Attell is trying to find out if that's true and the transporter actually was activated where he might have transported to. But if he's still on the ship, hopefully we can find him.
I have faith.
How many people are in security? I mean, we got me and Red, and then Stilvec was nominally in security. Do we have anyone left on the ship?
yeah, you probably have a couple other guys. There's Drunky.
Sleepy and Dopey?
Yeah, exactly.
And a whole bunch of them that don't have names, and they actually do die every episode.
Exactly.
But they keep coming back.
Shh, I was gonna kill some of them.
We get the same actor back each time, but he's a different character. It's Jeffrey
Yeah,
Combs.
there's just a new
different.
named, what was it? Kenny. It's Kenny something. I don't know.
This one's
They
named
killed
Robert.
Kenny.
Jeffrey Combs keeps coming back.
Jeffrey Combs, what are you doing here?
Exactly.
Combs track.
Okay, so you're talking about running a scan on the ship. Who's going to do that? You're going to communicate that back to Attell, or?
Yeah, I will actually call back, Lieutenant Coombs and ask him to
Lieutenant Coombs. Okay.
to run a security scan. If he can't find anything when he gets back to me, then I may go back and do my own personal scan with my limited amount of cameras to see if anything gets picked up.
Okay.
Just have him do a sweep from stem to stern, and
yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I don't have a character sheet for them, so I believe what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to have the ship do it, because it's been so reliable all night. So
Yeah.
and while it's quick to make up a secondary character, it's not that quick.
No. No. We're going to do sensors and security, and I think the ship can spend momentum, as far as I know.
Sure,
Well,
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I'm going to die for it. So
Drives.
we're going to say difficulty 2. All right.
Nice.
They found a Vulcan on board, and it is excuse me. They found Stovik on board.
Mhm.
Whether or not they are a Vulcan, but they did find Stovik is still on board. And they are in the they were last seen in the armory.
Last seen in the armory. So they have found evidence of Stilvik, but they don't have eyes or hands on Stilvik now.
Not yet. But it's the ship is saying they're there. So
Okay.
They're just returning that phaser that got misplaced. It was all
Exactly.
misunderstanding.
Exactly. So
Okay. Captain, are you still near us?
As far as I know.
Okay, good. You haven't gotten sucked back into the thing. So a sweep of the ship shows that Stilvik is apparently still on board, according to the sensors, though Lieutenant Coombs has not laid eyes on him yet. With permission, I would like to return to the ship and assist.
By all means.
Okay. All right. I'll step away. Contact
okay.
the ship. Whoever's in transporter room. This is Varen to beam up.
we'll say Attell's still there. Just still trying to was looking at that and was like, oh shit, I probably got to go back up to that terminal. Look at that in the meantime. But we'll say Attell's still there.
Yeah. So, given what we know so far about Attell's style of running diagnostics, is the transporter currently in operational order?
It worked last time you used it.
Look, those are spare parts. Don't worry about that pile right there.
I mean, it worked last time.
There's so many redundancies.
Would you like to spend a threat on that, GM?
I would like to. Yeah. And basically, same kind of thing. I would like 2 successes, but you have to have those 2 successes, or something might go wrong.
Okay, and what's the roll?
I believe we went with. Damn it! I keep closing the sheet. Sorry. I think we went with reason and engineering.
Okay.
And if anybody's watching this who knows, maybe I'm making the wrong call on some of these things, please add it in the comments. Just let me know.
Yeah. So 2 threat, and you can add a complication for us.
Yeah. So complication is. Actually, I only had 1 threat to spend, so.
That's fine. Have another.
Okay.
Complications are interesting.
Okay. That if
I tell you what, you can buy a threat by giving us a momentum.
no, no, not this late in the story. I don't quite need it. Although I could.
Well, okay. So as an Andorian, if I buy a D20 with threat instead of momentum, we generate bonus momentum for that die if it's a success. It's not something I usually use, but if we're trying to explain why you have one more threat than you have, I'm happy to do that.
I'll do that.
That's an interesting
I'll
ability.
take-
Yeah.
All right. Let's just hope you don't get any complications. So,
Okay, so
Yeah, because you're already adding enough one complication, so don't roll anymore.
and still using the ship's computer, so the ship is going to get
yeah.
That
Let me.
roll.
Let me have them roll again. So that was computers and engineering. So. Oh. So the ship got a 19 and an 18, but no successes. So
No extra complications.
no extra complications now.
okay. So I've got 2 successes. I also rolled a 19. And because I'm assisted by the ship's computers or sensors, I or the ship get a reroll, and we'll go ahead and reroll my 19, which is now a 7. So
Alright.
yeah, that is 3 successes.
Three successes.
Just smooth. Just Varen just comes back. No issues.
Oh dear. So what's the complication that you're adding?
He has a beard when he comes back. He has his, and it almost looks like Varen came back immediately, but when he comes back, he's got this long beard, like he's been away for a long time.
Ben Varen.
And Varen and
I was
back.
going to ask what would have happened if I had failed that roll.
Yeah. He comes
It
back,
would be
and
a
you
goatee, not a beard.
yeah, he's got a beard, and he's like, and you're like, about time.
That seemed to last
I've
forever.
noticed that before.
Transporter beam.
Yeah, until you're like, I think that's Varen.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my God! What
Not
is
always
this?
terribly
on my face?
observant. I'm sure he's been growing that for a while.
All right.
All right.
I thought Vulcans could only grow beards in the mirror universe.
You never know.
In
Anyway.
our time.
Patel, we'll discuss this later.
Okay. Right now, I got some killing to do. No.
All right. Ship, can you locate Lieutenant Coombs?
They are currently on their way to the armory.
Okay. Beep, beep. Send a message to Lieutenant Coombs. I'm on my way to the armory. I should meet you there. I will be able to assist in the search.
Affirmative. We are outside waiting for you.
Don't wait for me. Go ahead in and start your search.
Okay. All right. So if you were on your way, Atel, you coming with them, or are you staying where you are?
I guess I'm coming along.
Don't have to. You can stay and run your diagnostics, or it's safe.
Well, I mean, safe for now until the chief engineer finds out what I've done to the transporter and the terminal, and you know. But yeah, I tag along because I want to get to the bottom of this as well.
Just sort of set the panel back in, you know, mostly.
Real carefully.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe just a little WD-40 just to be sure.
There's one corner that still pops out a little bit. The screw doesn't line up.
Yeah.
Just puts his elbow in a. There we go. Okay. Varen, as you are approaching the armory, you hear the sounds of phasers.
Okay, I'll draw mine.
Okay.
Still set to stun.
As you arrive, you see Combs get hit in the chest. He goes, "Oh!"
Oh,
And
no.
the armory door is open. He goes, "Oh!" and falls. And there's one other security officer next to him who appears to have been shot.
Also down. Okay. Step in around the door and try to acquire a target.
Okay. This is where we are going to, not technically it's combat, but all right. So are you attempting to be stealthy? Are you attempting to just charge madly in? What's kind of your approach to the
I do
doorway?
have the ambush tactics talent. I wonder if I could set something up.
Well, somebody inside has been shooting out from the armory.
Right.
So you can't really ambush them because they already know somebody's there. So.
Right. How many? Well, I'm thinking maybe wait for them to leave. How many exits are there from the armory?
From the diagnostics 2, which is the way you're at, and then there is a back door that goes to more like I don't want to say supply tunnels, but
yeah. So that's not useful.
Yeah.
That's not useful. Constantly watching. I already know he's there, so I'm not sure that's useful.
While Varen is figuring out his,
might be useful.
his approach, Atel's going to whip out his tricorder. He's on the ship. There's no reason to be carrying a phaser, and see if he can pinpoint for Varen. He's hiding, in this corner, that corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. You find that he is in. When you walk into the room, it would be, say, on the left backhand corner. So.
Okay.
So I show that to our security chief.
Excellent. Then I will attempt to do a Kirk roll, dive into the room and roll up behind some sort of cover.
Perfect. Okay. That is definitely daring and I think security.
All right. Let's spend a momentum on that. Don't want to get shot on the way in.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't mind. Okay, an 8. 2 successes.
All righty. You do that, Kirk. Roll in, and as you roll in, you see Stilvik pointing a phaser right at you. So we're going to see if he can shoot at you in the meantime. And he misses.
Of course, I did the fancy roll.
Exactly. All right. So
I'm gonna shoot his ass.
Oh, now you're going to try to shoot him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I want to negotiate.
Excuse me. I think it's daring and security.
Or
is it fitness?
Would control be better since now I'm in position and I'm.
Yeah. You know what? That sounds better. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to be able to do the same thing. So.
Right.
Okay. But I believe players go first before enemies in this game, as far as I remember. So.
Well, especially since I have the constantly watching.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that's gonna be the other thing too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Although I guess we're not at the beginning of the scene anymore. Ooh, no. 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. So, are you attempting to stun?
Stun. Yeah, I still have the phaser set to stun.
Okay.
Right. Can't interrogate a dead man.
Okay. You hit him, and he actually shot at the same time, but you rolled better than him, so I'm going to say he missed. And yeah, you hit him. He's stumbles backwards. You notice when you shot him, there looked like there's some kind of like electrical charge around him, around his torso.
Is he down?
He is down, yeah.
Okay. Then I will head over to him, carefully keeping the phaser on him until I get to him, kick away his phaser, flip him over, and restrain his arms.
Okay.
With the handy dandy space zip ties that I have in my pocket.
Yeah, you when you're restraining, you see this bzz, bzz, there's some kind of electrical something buzzing around his torso.
Interesting.
Making another scan to figure out what we're dealing with. Is it
I'm
dangerous?
on the tail and let him know what I see. Yeah.
Okay. Reason and science. It's gonna be difficult though. It's gonna be difficulty 3 though.
Okay. So I'm using my tricorder. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a die. And that's not okay. Okay. So one of the talents that Itel has is dedicated focus. One of his focuses, in this case, sensor operations, doubles its range to get a crit. So instead of just critting on one, you normally crit on 1 through he's, I believe, using science, so 1 through 5. So it's 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
1, 5, 9.
Okay.
Nice.
You pinpoint that he has some kind of device on him. You're picking up this electrical field around him. Is some kind of device that Stovik is wearing.
How many successes did that need?
Well, he only needed 3, so
Yep.
Then he got 6.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So bump up the momentum. Okay.
Yeah. While Latel's doing that, I'm going to go check on Coombs and the other security.
Okay. They are not doing well. They were both killed.
I would say that's not doing well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Captain's going to have Stilbeck's keel hauled.
Okay. So they still have this.
With
yeah.
successes, could I either figure out where the off switch is, or like disrupt the field? How to turn it off?
I don't know, because it's not technology you recognize, but it's something you could probably communicate to Varen and say, "Hey, I detect something on them," and then he might be able to check it out.
Yeah, I do.
Let's strip
from
him.
what I know.
Okay.
We'll strip him.
Okay.
And see if we can find wherever this technology is.
Okay. You kind of pull up his shirt and you see some kind of what almost looks like a vest on them, with some kind of a readout on there, and you recognize some of the readout, but it's not Vulcan, but it's Romulan.
Yeah.
Mm. This appears to be Romulan technology. Let's see if we can get it off him.
Okay.
Can you unzip the vest?
Yeah. You can basically figure out how to like get it off them. You get a mild electric shock when you do that. When you take it off, you're shocked to see that, and I need the banner up again.
What twist?
That
So
once
taking it off shocks him, and then
Did it?
he looks.
Yeah.
He's shocked again.
Yeah. Oh my god! Physical shock and emotional shock.
when you take it
That's too
off,
hot.
I'm gonna
when
need
you
a
take-
drink after this.
when you take it off them, their form seems to change, and what was a Vulcan male is now a Romulan female.
Okay. Take a picture and
Takes out his phone, takes a picture.
right,
Yeah.
see about doing some sort of-
Selfie.
and then I'd say we need to make a call to whatever security is left. on the ship.
There's more, but yeah.
Yeah, and get Stilvek transferred to the brig. And then I'm going to see about tracing who this Romulan is. Now, I think at this point in time, the Romulus is, I mean, it's like North Korea. Nobody knows what's going on there or something, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this may be difficult, but I can check back with Vulcan, see if I have any connections back on Vulcan with their planetary security force and go, yeah, anybody know who this is?
This is where we're going to kind of wrap up the episode. And this normally would be where we would have one of the characters probably doing a recap. Yeah, you found out this is a Romulan agent. They revealed their name, but kind of name, rank, serial number. That's about all. Their name is Dyrana, and they will really not tell you much else. That they were sent to infiltrate the Jemison, and they had attempted to actually get down to the planet, but the security team had pulled them off the roster to go to the planet. So that's points for Varen and Sark, and that this was some kind of cloaking device, like basically that they were wearing, that could mask their identity and make them appear as something else. Curse you meddling, Federation types. The talks down on the planet, while the Kamakchi were a little nervous about why Sark was moving around and why Varen was running around, otherwise went smoothly. They thanked the captain and Ambassador Thala for their patience with them, and they've almost narrowed it down to maybe a couple months where maybe somebody could come and possibly survey the planet a little bit further. So that is where we kind of wrap up the episode. You guys did a great job of stopping the potential saboteur. They were going to actually try to plant a bomb in the armory, but the quick thinking on the scans from Mattel and everyone located them quickly, so they didn't have time to do that. They were in fact the ones who messed with the warp core, and you have successfully completed the adventure.
Woo-hoo.
And Mattel has a new science project.
Yes.
Trying to figure out how this vest works.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. I'll actually say, if you want to keep that, you're welcome to. Well, actually, Varen might be. Maybe the two of you will play nice with it together.
I mean,
the vest?
We're going to have to work together just to keep,
I'll give
just
you
to make sure that we get to work with this and it doesn't get snatched up by,
I'll give you a week before I turn it into Starfleet intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
And you're going to have to work with OBS to figure out how to turn you into a Vulcan.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was these last two episodes were my one of my first tries at trying to write a Star Trek episode. So I have found it more challenging than any other game that I've ever tried to, because it's just trying to keep it, authentic, and trying to I can't keep ahead of you guys. That's hard to do. But trying to make it challenging for you. So
yeah. I thought it went well. I especially appreciated the Buccio red herring.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Buccio and Dia.
Yes, yeah, they were there. Yeah, absolute red herrings. So I don't know if just by accident you sniffed out that something was wrong with Stovek, or it just random.
I think just by accident. I had decided, off the cuff there when we were first talking to Thala, that as illogical as it was, and you'll find that Varen has picked up a lot of illogicity over his years spent with the humans. He just did not like him and was going to tweak his nose as much as he could. So the keeping Stovek back had more to do with annoying Thala than it did with any sense of security.
Yeah, because the story. The story would have gone a completely different direction if Stovek was on the planet.
Right.
So, okay. All right. You guys have anything else you want to go over before we wrap up, guys?
Join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. for our trip into Impossible Landscapes.
Yes.
With our Delta Green run. That should be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Crash, anything coming up?
Same old. Podcasts release every Monday and Thursday. Playing Dungeons and Dragons and GURPS and Cypher System currently.
Okay.
And what's the third one?
Cypher System.
Cypher System.
By Monaco Games. It's a kitchen sink RPG, and I just realized my cat is sitting on the back of my chair.
Yes.
You had all the cats come out.
I was gonna say we've had them all out. So.
Yeah.
Steve, you got anything going on?
So first of all, Cypher is awesome, and it's incredibly flexible, so you can do all kinds of things with it, including near future, which I like to think of as cypherpunk. Let's see, what do I have coming up? Well, on April 26th, I'm going to be running a Call of Cthulhu scenario over on Miskatonic Playhouse. Sure, I have other things, but I'm not finding them at the moment. So,
okay.
And hopefully, I will have my tech working, so I don't have to be human.
This
no
peach
problem.
color. Were you using something other than OBS for the virtual camera?
Was using OBS, but the connection between the camera and OBS was having a meltdown.
When it popped up the little error message, it was like saying something that I didn't recognize.
El Gato.
El Gato.
Yeah.
Again, it all goes
Blame
back
the
to
cat.
cats. Blame the cat. All right,
Cool.
Ellie, you got anything coming up?
Nothing that Crash hasn't mentioned.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for everybody watching. If you're watching on the stream or you're watching on YouTube later, we appreciate your support. Please be sure to give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you. We're possibly coming back in June to do some more Star Trek. So we will keep everybody posted. So from all of us to all of you, have a great night. That was really cheesy. I don't know why I did that. Good night, everybody.
Ba ba ba.